It's Friday night, and you know what that means. We had another episode of AEW Dynamite, and Top Rope Tokes is here to review it. I am just saying that over there is range of motions,
Yep.
and
I'm here to review Rampage, not Dynamite. He might be here for Dynamite,
sit down.
but y'all, I'm here for Rampage.
But Rampage started off like it usually does with two people in the ring ready to go. We are about to start off with the Eddie Kingston versus Jake Hager matchup. One thing that they pointed out very early on is there was no one from either of the groups out at the ring. It was one on one. And the biggest reason I made note of this is there was no Chris Jericho on commentary.
Yeah. No Jericho on commentary, so that means we went a full episode without hearing Chris Jericho say that he's a wizard. I don't think we're gonna know that he's a wizard because he didn't say it today. So that, uh,
Oh no.
but yeah, I have one thing for this match. Other than it was an okay striking fest, I guess. But the one thing that I have, Jake Hager, stop doing the Vader bomb. You're not fat. The Vader bomb is for fat people only.
And
I'm
it's just
sorry.
funny because even
That's why you
earlier in the
lost
match,
the match.
he was sitting there outside at ringside, like pointing out how cut he is and everything else. It's like, okay, so dude, if you're even talking about losing more weight and slimming down and getting cut, definitely drop the Vader bomb.
Yep. Yeah, get rid of the Vader bomb, man.
Like you're almost better off just like standing next to him and just falling like a tree.
I would have believed the Vader bomb more if Eddie did it to you. Just drop that belly on him.
Now Eddie did get the win, but it did take two of his spinning back fists to get the win.
Yeah. His spinning back slaps.
Yeah,
I don't know
just
why they call it a fist because it's always a slap.
because I think it's just it's the back of the. I think he closes like his hand, but it's just the back of
Oh,
it.
maybe he does. Okay.
So it's still it's still not like the fist going directly. It's more like the back, like a
Yeah.
backhand. Just the backhand is a closed fist.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. As he says, Eddie gets the wind. And as he said, no one was at ringside. Jericho wasn't on commentary. Nobody even showed up after the match to jump in because it seems like we always get, somebody coming in. They can't
Especially
just
with the big
let it be
groups.
clean. Yeah, with those big groups, that was different today.
But they did. That's what
I'm okay
happened,
with
and
it.
then we jumped next. Next was Tony Schiavone backstage with Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. I tried to time it for you, but it totally green screened it out. um, but Britt with Jamie and Reba, not Rebel. Rebel, not Reba. I always forget how she has it. Um, Anyway, the whole point of this was Britt basically calls out Tony because Tony put the hands on the title when she picked it up coming out to save Rosa. And even though she's not the champion, Britt is still very defensive of the belt. And she said Tony tried to skip the line, and that's why she went right to Rosa because she's afraid of Jamie and Britt.
Yeah, yeah. So it looks like we might be getting maybe a Brit and Chris,
Tony?
or not Chris, Tony, sorry, Tony Storm kind of Tony Storm thing going on here before Tony gets to the belt.
Which is good because they've kind of continued to struggle with having interesting storylines away from the title. And honestly, right now, they're kind of struggling with interesting stories for even the titles. So
Yeah,
you gotta get something in there that actually people will care about. And if if anyone's gonna get attention on something, it's gonna be Brit. So hopefully it can just make Tony more interesting at because I'm not sure has she really talked much. I mean, she's done a little bit of backstage stuff, but I know she was even kind of quiet in those where she didn't say much.
Yeah, they haven't given Tony a whole lot of talk time.
So it's hard to really care when she hasn't even really expressed anything outside of the fact that you can be a fan of her work.
Yep. Yeah, because I felt I felt Britt Baker here. Like, if anybody deserves a shot at the title, probably her again.
I mean, if you want to use the same logic that we had from Cole talking to Hangman, Britt just won the Owen.
Yeah, I'm gonna say she's beaten everybody except for Deeb, maybe.
I can't remember specifically just because Deeb has been more of a like I think she would pop up around, but she never
Yeah,
until recently she was never really consistent. So I can't remember anything
I'm
specifically.
thinking as long as in the short time that I've been watching, I've definitely never seen those two in a match. But I also have not seen many Deeb matches in general.
But after that, we move on to a um, I actually have Santana in here, but that's wrong. It was a Ortiz versus Jericho video package, hyping up Road Rager and their hair versus hair matchup. Uh, Nothing really to it that's new or different. It was just, hey, we don't like you, I don't like you, that kind of thing. Just the hype package, the normal hype package.
Yeah. Goodbye to Jericho's hair. He's about to go back to the WCW Jericho hair.
He was longer in WCW. He cut it short in WWE.
Oh yeah, that's right. I got that backwards.
Did
Yep.
that super high ponytail and everything in WCW.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it was.
His
Mhm.
obnoxious hair.
Speaking of obnoxious hair, then we get bald head Jay Lethal.
Alongside former second round draft pick of the Dallas Mavericks in the NBA, Satnam Singh.
Second,
Never
I'm
played a game in
saying,
the NBA. I'm going to throw that out there because that's what I read up on it. He got
okay.
drafted second round, never played a game in the NBA. I don't know if he ever
It's
did.
a- yeah, he doesn't look
I
like he could
think,
have ever run up and down a court.
I mean, 2015, we were definitely at the point where people were getting away from, hey, we don't need a statue at center.
Yeah, poor guy. But hey, maybe you got a career as a wrestler. We don't know because this match was too quick to say anything good or bad.
The only thing is it was a little bit different. Like you expect sometimes someone like Lethal, the veteran, the smaller guy, to do most of the work, and the big guy gets the punctuation. The big guy with less experience and everything. However,
Mhm.
no, Lethal got out of it pretty quick. Gave it to Singh. We should mention it was a squash match. It was jobbers. They did actually say the names of the wrestlers.
I don't remember those names.
I did not make any attempt to even take them down because they basically said it once in the beginning of the match, really, really quick, and you weren't going to hear them again.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. They just went out there and, as he said, they got squashed.
Uh, at one
Quick
point,
win for Jay Lethal and Satnam Singh.
at one point, Singh
And
did a double crossbody, basically picked them both up, and then held them there for a double lethal injection, and Jay Lethal get the pin. Then they continued beating up people that nobody cared about, so nobody was going
yeah,
to come out from backstage to help, unless Samoa
yeah,
was back, and that wasn't going to happen. Not yet.
yeah. That was yeah, that was pointless. Like, all right, you already won. They didn't even get to like touch you not one time. You don't have to stomp them afterwards too.
Oh, there is one point about the beatdown after to actually make. He took one of the people that we don't know the name of, and he got him up in the like over by the turnbuckle, up in like the crucifix bomb position. And instead of doing like a razor's edge or outsider's edge, he did more like an airplane spin toss because he just spun the guy and sent him flying like halfway across the ring. from probably at his height about 9 feet in the air, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, that was actually pretty cool.
So probably with anyone small enough, that'll probably be what he goes for as a finish.
Hope so. Hey, hey, after setting him sing throws people around, next match
I could see
was
you go
Chris
through your notes.
Statlander throwing red
Hold
velvet
on,
around.
hold on. You're skipping something very important. And
Oh
that's
yeah,
why I
that's
thought you
right.
smiled, not because
The
of the
not
baddies.
so yeah, yeah, I forgot about that.
It was basically the we hear from Hookhausen segment, but it's Lexi Nair backstage, looking around, and Danhausen's nowhere to be found. She's confused. Then he just rolls up in a golf cart. Um, I think it was just basically what, how you feeling? He's like, I'm doing great. We just won at the pay per view. We're undefeated.
Yeah. And they went out and bought cars to celebrate. And I'm sure he's referring to his golf cart as his car that he
Yep.
bought.
Because after she asked where Hook is, and she's like, "Oh, you want to see Hook's new car?" And she goes, "Yeah." And Danhausen just takes off speeding away in his golf cart, and she's confused again. And then next thing you know, now Danhausen's was the very basic
Super
golf cart that you
standard,
see
yeah.
everywhere. Hook comes out like he spent 4 times the amount of on his. It looks like one of the ones that could be an ATV vehicle, also that you would take on a hunting trip.
Yeah. Yeah, like with the camouflage and all that. And of course he doesn't say anything as usual.
Just looks over at her,
Shows up, does his little thing, drives right off.
and that was it.
Hookhausen in the housing. And out the housing real fast.
But
Yeah, I jumped the gun
it's
on that.
okay.
Sorry
Now you
about
can be
that.
excited. Now you can be
No.
excited. Take it over. Talk about the baddies.
So, most important thing that happened here is the baddies come out together as a united front. And I think on every episode, I'm just going to ask to sit in the baddie section one time. That's all. Until maybe they'll hear this one day and they'll let me sit in the baddie section one time just so I can be cool with them. But this is going to be Red Velvet versus Chris Statlander. Red Velvet comes out to the ring first with Jade, Kiera, and Stokely. And they're sitting at ringside. Red Velvet, as Chris Statlander is entering, she jumps on Chris Statlander. Chris Statlander catches her, and this is going to be the common theme of the match, as Red Velvet's going to jump a lot, and Chris Statlander is going to catch her pretty much every single time she jumps. They might as well be figure skaters, like doing a partner skate. It would be real cool.
Yep.
But
One of the times that was impressive, I thought, was there was that time on the outside that somehow Red Velvet ended up like Statlander was carrying her, but Statlander carried her up the steps to the ring apron and then like up kind of two
mhm,
turnbuckles before kind of snapmare flipping her off into the ring and then jumping off the top rope. But I mean, you can be strong, you can lift people. It's a whole different story to lift somebody, balance, go up, a few steps of stairs on a ring apron, start to climb, and not have to set them down.
yeah, very impressive, Chris. But yeah, as we said, she keeps catching her a lot. Eventually, she catches her one too many times, and she gets to do her blue thunder, or no, not blue thunder, blue something bomb, something about a bomb,
It's
whatever
a
her finishing move is.
well that well I got the name that they use. I don't know technical name, but at one point Red Velvet did hit her just desserts kick Statlander kicked out. She ended up winning with what they called Friday Night Fever.
Oh, Friday Night Fever was the winner one.
They said that name
The
at the
chicken
end,
dinner.
and I was a little bit surprised because I'm still used to her alien stuff where she used the Big Bang Theory or whatever.
Okay. Well,
As the movie.
now she's moving on to the Bee Gees, okay? Bee Gees moves it is. But she wins with a Bee Gees move, which that's pretty dope. I would like to win if I used a Bee Gees move. Um,
The best part about her
but
winning was what came next.
yeah, so of course, because she won, Kiera jumped in the ring and attacked her while she wasn't looking
Immediately.
immediately. Kiera, I loved your outfit today. Um, Small side note, but as she attacks Chris Statlander, she gets her outside of the ring and sets up Jade for a pump kick outside. And then here comes Anna Jay in for the save. Why she comes out by herself, we don't know, because
He does
obviously
nothing.
she just gets beat up on really quick, does absolutely nothing. And then Athena tries to come in a moment too late, and the refs are ready to stop her. Stokely's in the ring. No, 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 you can't let her get it to us. And there was that. Athena's real pissed. Like at one point, they were like holding her like cross body, like she was just trying. She made it look like she was really trying her hardest to get out there, and they were not letting her.
And at least that's better than half the other times where it's like, dude, you're not actually even trying. Like, come on. Like, it's
Mhm.
obvious.
Mhm.
But they cut from that to talking about the All Atlantic tournament again. We get the graphic pro- previewing, promoting upcoming matchup between Ethan Page and Miro. And then you had told me it was the same Miro package from when he returned. They played real quick.
Yep.
And then to after that, they cut to Ethan Page, who actually gets to talk in a new like backstage segment, which probably the best thing about this was the fact that he was the only one who talked, so it moved a lot
Yeah.
faster than their normal segments.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that the other two were just there. And since he was the one that this is about, he was the one on the mic. I kind of feel like it should be more like that with this group.
Shut
So,
up, Dan Lambert. Keep it short and sweet. You don't need to go
yeah.
on tirades.
I did like the one line when Ethan Page that said that Miro is going to be praying to him after he wins.
Yep, at the end. He did because a lot of this being in basically everywhere but the USA tournament. You got the nice little pride of where you can come from because he says he's gonna win for Canada and all that good stuff. Um, so you got a little bit of him talk about Miro's promo package. You got a little bit of pride because that's how this thing is going. But he said he is going to win some gold finally, and Miro will pray to
Where is Miro from? Do
him.
you know?
Depending on what they want to list it, but I think Bulgaria.
Okay.
Actually,
Just wondering.
when he left WWE, he started going by his real name, Miro. But when that happened, like I would have seen his like full name at some point, but besides that, he is just now just Miro. Um, yep, he's Bulgarian. It's just there's been associations like they've always called him the Bulgarian brute in the old company. But you know how they like to change shit, and his wife was from Russia, but not Russia. So I'm like, I don't know exactly. Want to double check. But yeah, he's Bulgarian. His
Cool.
tights before AEW used to just be like their flag colors and stuff.
Be the flag. Okay. Hmm.
Actually, if you don't know what he used to look like when he first really showed up in like WWE and stuff, you should check it out because entirely different person almost.
I'm gonna go ahead and take a look. Oh gosh, that screen's huge.
You'd want to look up Rusev, Rusev.
Rusev.
That was his name over there. If you can, if it's an old picture, if you can see one with him with long hair, he's
I see him with long hair. Yeah,
yeah, a lot beefier
on
with
he
long
had the
hair.
goatee instead of the full beard. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
he
so
does
he's
almost
different.
look like a different guy. Wow, trying to hide his identity.
What did you do, Miro? Why are you hiding?
He's not hiding, man. Not anymore. He's gonna make his God happy.
Do you have any notes that you found worthy of the main event promo?
Of the promo itself, no.
Because one day I want there to be a main event promo that is good and worth talking about. Because I want you to have the hypeness and see if you can kind of be like Mark Henry for it.
Yeah, because this it was just time for the main event. It
Or
wasn't all exciting like how Mark Henry said it.
there was one decent line in there that I liked because he was talking about, everyone is going to all elite, blah, blah, blah. So why are they there? He said, we're here to separate the sheep from the goats.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, that was actually solid. Then there was back and forth, but that really didn't
that
matter.
was
But that
pretty
was
good.
the one line that I actually took out. I'm like, okay, that was actually solid.
Okay, yeah, yeah, I forgot about that one. Yeah, Ospreay got that one line in there. But yeah, yeah, here we are, main event. Trent Beretta and FTR versus Will Ospreay and Aussie Open.
When Hookhausen's in the Rampage main event and Mark Henry does that, will you be hyped enough then to do your best Mark Henry impression?
Oh yeah, I got this then.
Because I know
For
I would
sure.
never be able to get nowhere close. You have a lot more close natural voice and everything for it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can do it. But yeah, they gotta give me something to get hype about though.
Okay.
This was an alright match though.
Um,
Nothing like too amazing, but it was pretty good.
there was something towards the end that really surprised me, but I'll get to that in a minute. They did not make you wait for Osprey to be in the ring. He started the match with Dax, so you didn't have to, do the whole heel thing or bad guy stuff where you have to wait for
Yeah.
somebody to get their hands on that dude. Um, but when they were in the ring, there was a "Let's go Osprey" chant. It just wasn't as loud as the FTR chant.
Yeah, the FTR chant was pretty clear. You kind of had to go, what was that? What was that? Did they say Osprey? I think they said Osprey.
Like he definitely has chance. It just was not as over as FTR. Um, just to throw it out there because I had no idea what the guys' names were before. Aussie Open was Mark Davis, who is a big, strong boy. He was kind of throwing people around in this match. And the other one was Kyle Fletcher.
Yes. 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 I remember that name.
He was the one with like the undercut and the longer hair, and ended up actually being the one pinned in the very end of the match. Uh, Trent might have did one of the most beautiful tornado DDTs I've ever seen in this match. It was super smooth.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
this was they definitely wanted to give Trent the shine in this match for sure.
I was really surprised by that. I honestly thought he was going to be the one to take the pin because he wasn't the Ring of Honor tag team champions. He wasn't even a part of the tag team that's in the match. Um, he was the solo guy while he's usually in a tag team. So I figured he was there to let Will Ospreay go over on top and look like a star to end the show. But
Yeah. Nope.
Cash actually kicked out of a springboard 450 from Ospreay. Then he turned around and hit him with the Os Cutter, and Cash still kicked out. But it ended up winning. Trent ends up getting the pin with the Storm Zero on Kyle Fletcher in the end. And Osprey was out there at ringside after like they were having their face down and all that. Osprey didn't even
Yeah.
look like he had a match.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. They must be doing. I think they must be going. They must be going much harder over there in Japan. He was probably like, "Yeah, that was just a warm up. Usually our matches are like
Mm.
20
Well,
minutes longer."
when he's a main event guy, he probably is used to for like his pay-per-views, he probably does on a regular basis, probably like 25-minute matches by himself and solo. And this was, 3 on 3, so he
Yeah,
probably did like
like a 15-minute max 3-on-3 match. Yeah. So yeah, that makes sense.
he did probably like 20% of the work of his normal night.
Hmm. I don't know. He was that was my first time seeing him wrestle, and hopefully I'll get to see more of that, but doesn't doesn't seem like they'll have anything really set up for him.
I mean, they had that little stare down with it, like him and Trent at the end. Um,
Hmm.
Honestly, I like this showing a lot better than when they appeared and then they attacked on Dynamite, because that elbow that he did when the person was on their knees from behind, it looked so awkward to me when he did it the first time. I was hoping maybe I would see it again to kind of say like, hey, maybe it was just an awkward first time, or grow to appreciate it, like maybe some subtle details or something like that. I don't really know
Um,
anything about him myself. I know the name, I know where he stands in New Japan, but same as you, I don't know if I've ever watched him before this match,
yeah,
besides like gifs on Twitter.
yeah. I keep saying that I'm gonna go and try and watch some New Japan matches just so I know a little bit about their wrestlers before this pay-per-view, but every time I say I'm gonna do it, I just don't. So I might end up just going into this blind and saying, "Oh, I've heard that name before."
Hey, sometimes that's not a terrible thing, because it's like, wait, this is the person everyone's been talking about? Yes.
Yeah, yeah, because I know who, or at least I know a little bit about some of the major New Japan folks, so that I won't be lost when they bring them out and try and make a big deal out of them. But I've never
Okada.
seen any of them wrestle. Yeah, like Okada. Yeah, like I had to know, I had to learn about him.
Like, that is the name that everyone's waiting for to see what the heck is going to happen. The
Yeah,
Rainmaker.
the Rainmaker.
Hmm. Um,
Hmm.
I'm not. It's funny though, because his finishing move is a ripcord lariat. So it's not like a one finisher ending match. It's one of the ones that he would hit like 2 or 3 times during a match before he got the win, which I always found odd. Like versus Kenny Omega, I think one of the matches he had hit it like 3 times or something like that. So I can't remember if I've actually watched an Okada match. So I have no idea what really to expect. I've just seen like the little bit of gifts and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. That's that's all I got. I saw. So I watched some of one of his matches with Kenny Omega. It was like it came out to a draw,
Okay.
but yeah. It was like an hour long,
Yep.
but it's pretty damn good.
Yep.
I
So,
don't know how they kept going that whole time.
yeah, they had
My
another one
back would have been so fucked.
that they took off the time limit for, but yeah, that was a part of like a 1 year, a year and a half kind of back and forth between those two of when will Kenny actually beat him. Over in Japan,
Yeah.
it was probably something kind of like how we would view Austin and The Rock from back in the day. How Rock lost to Austin at WrestleMania, I think twice before he finally beat him.
Yeah. He lost at least twice before he won.
Yeah, it was kind of like,
Rocky.
except with the terrible Vince McMahon swerve eventually. Like Austin shaking hands with Vince McMahon was weird. But that's a different company. For tonight's show, favorite moment.
Favorite moment.
The moment
It was
Kira
when
Hogan got on the screen.
yeah, I think my favorite moment was Kiera Hogan's dress.
Like I said when you first got introduced to her, I in all sincerity, in all honesty, her style has always been in a way where she's always had really good style and it's always looked really good with her different hair colors, everything throughout the years. I've always enjoyed just her stylistically, her look, her style, everything. So when she comes out in that dress, looking amazing, I told you during the show, I feel like
Mhm.
tonight
Phenomenal.
she almost looked like a Disney princess come to life. Just wearing a nice dress, makeup great, hair down, flowing, super colorful.
Mhm. Yep, and welcome to this edition of Top Rope Simps. As we go deep.
I'm not sure if you can say as we go deep while doing this.
My bad. All right.
Um, I mean,
Clean it up.
it's gonna happen. I mean, there's gonna be times where I might sit here and gush about Danhausen. Doesn't matter who it is. Like when they're
Yeah.
that damn good, or they're really good at what they do, or in her case, okay, it may be a looks thing, but you don't think it takes time, effort, and thought into those hair colors, those outfits, and how you look all the time, and especially when you change it. I'm going to appreciate the work that people put in.
Yeah. Yeah. I dig the baddies. Like they're doing it, man. They're doing it.
Jade had white hair
Yep.
and a white outfit. So she's starting to change up the hair a little bit again.
Yeah, because she had a different color last time too, didn't she?
I think it was pink.
Something. I know it wasn't green again
Yeah.
because she had started rocking the green for a minute and
Mm.
then changed it up
Kind of like as the
once.
baddies really became a thing, they're like, once it really became a thing, it got to be about money for what, like a month or so.
Hmm.
It was lots and lots of green. I don't mind seeing her change it up all the time. Or at least
Yeah.
if you do stick with something for a little bit of time, as long as it's not super long, I guess. Like I just don't want like a month and a half of one color and then like a week of one color, then a week of another color, then a week of another color. Like if she's gonna change it every like 2 weeks, then I know she's gonna change it like every 2 weeks. If she's gonna change it every week, she's gonna change it every week. If it's gonna be like every couple of months, it's gonna be like every couple of months. I don't. I mean, not that it really matters in the end. It's her choice, her looks, her style. But just
Dig it. Keep
I
doing what
don't
you do, Jay.
I don't want to make graphics and stuff and then just immediately feel like outdated because nope, now this is going to be her new look for the next 6 months. Or for instance, let's say we go to Dynamite slash Rampage at the end of the month, and you want to wear some bright ass colors to match her hair and be like, I'm here for Jade, because she had been, green for a month, and then all of a sudden starts changing again. Like, yeah,
I
it's
just
just.
had to like hit her up on Instagram. Like, hey Jade, what are you wearing in Detroit? You gotta let me know, because that changes what I wear.
I mean, at the same time,
No.
it's like you kind of want to know what to expect because there's advantages to it, but at the same time, part of it's wrestling. Part of the best things is not knowing what to expect. Like
Yeah.
she comes out with blue. Don't do blue. Kira's got blue. She wore like straight blue tonight.
Yeah.
But just for example, if
Like,
it's blue next time, I'll be like, oh, blue this week. Okay.
yeah, like let Kiera keep the blue. Let Red Velvet do the red because Red Velvet.
Yeah,
But hell yeah.
she's got to keep red. I mean, how do you
Yeah.
not? Unless you just drop the name and go, or drop the red and go by Velvet. But
Nah.
I,
Nah, you're Red Velvet.
it works a lot better on a number of ways.
I don't know why, but just gotta have the red.
Well, you when it's velvet, you got a craft material. When you hear red velvet, it's sweetness, desserts, those kind of things. So I mean, it's so just even the thought process, I could see like a massive difference. Not that
Yeah. I mean, Velvet is real smooth.
true. So yeah, see, just can go lots of different ways with it, but I can't imagine dropping. I can't imagine dropping it. So sorry, you're stuck with red your entire career.
Yep. She should just stick with it. Don't care. Don't
Blue
care.
Sky should always have blue in her gear, or sky blue.
Oh yeah. I always forget about her until I see her, and then I don't forget about her.
Um,
Yeah.
honestly, I kind of feel weird that that has to be like the moment of the night for me because the Kingston Hager match it felt kind of basic. I really want to blame Hager for it. I think it was like there was times where it felt like he was wrestling a match from like 2005 WWE, like rest holds and stuff. It wasn't that exciting. I would like to see more brawling with Eddie or just straight up fighting, but as opposed to Jager or Hager trying to amateur wrestle him. Lethal and Singh versus Jobbers. What am I supposed to
There's
love
nothing
about
to
that?
talk about there.
Red Velvet versus Statlander. Well, we kind of just talked about that match in a way. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah,
And say the like that match, Statlander dominated pretty much, except for a few spots for Red Velvet. But with whenever there's baddies around, that means there's gonna be some after the bell shenanigans, and I'm always down for the after the bell shenanigans.
um, I'm not saying it was a bad segment by any means, but
Oh yeah,
there,
no,
no, there wasn't. Sorry, different thing. Um, I don't think the Danhausen Hookhausen thing was a bad segment by any means. It was one of those really quick like passing things, so there
yeah,
wasn't really
it was
anything
just
to
like, hey,
love.
they're here.
Yeah, no
We
meat
said
to
they'd
it.
be here.
I didn't think Ethan Page sucked on this promo by himself. For what
No,
it was, going a lot quicker and actually having a purpose, it was nice to actually see him be decent. But again, it wasn't anything amazing where I'm going to love it. The main event, it was a fun match.
yeah, I want to see Will Ospreay in a singles match.
It was a fun match. It's just nothing about it made me go like, "Wow" or "I love this."
So
So
yeah,
it,
there's like, because they all like Dax had a couple spots where he got to run everybody over. Trent got his swinging DDT and a couple good like moonsault and things, but nothing that you're gonna tell everybody about came from this match.
any match with probably more than 4 people starts to have so much going on that you don't
Yep.
get the downtime to kind of sell. I don't want to say sell, but just kind of this person's hurt and this person's hurt to kind of be like, who's going to get to. There's no sense of urgency if they got to get to their feet first. No, because, okay, this person's down. They usually roll out of the ring and then the next person's in. That kind of stuff happens. So it's just a different style match that it can be tons of fun, but it's not often you see matches with like 6 or 8 people that is going to make me go, this might be the best match of the night.
No. Is it? Yeah. Same thing like on Wednesday, the Battle Royale. It was a Battle Royale.
Hmm. Now, speaking of Wednesday, there is obvious exceptions to this rule. Go back in time. There's some great matches, and one of them's gonna kind of be referenced slash repeated this Wednesday. You're gonna have a triple threat tag team ladder match. Those still have potential, stealing show because it's different,
Yeah.
and you're gonna have legendary teams in there and stuff like that. So yes, it is possible to have matches with extra people be amazing and memorable. Just it's not going to happen
It's
too often, and it's going to
yeah.
usually have something attached to it, you know.
Yeah, some kind of stipulation like that, like the ladder.
Blood and guts like we have coming up, or you know, just a crazy championship match at the at a giant pay-per-view, stuff like that, but it's not often. So while it's nice to kind of see real Osprey get to do some stuff and see what Aussie Open's all about and what they can do, it was a good. I guess if the point of this was to kind of give you like an appetizer before a really good pay-per-view match down the road, then it did a
Yeah,
solid job.
yeah. I still feel like they should have gave United Empire the win here,
hmm And
just to
with
make just to keep building that up. 'Cause it's like, well, they beat him, so okay, what now?
with Aussie Open both being bigger than FTR, I wouldn't mind something where it looked like in the end, like you can have a really competitive match and then just have a turning point where all of a sudden the size of oh, Aussie Open takes over, and like let's say they just destroy FTR at ringside and just have Osprey have his way with Trent in the middle of the ring for like 1 minute at the end of the match. Just they destroy him, and so you have this really competitive match, and all of a sudden, massive turning point. Just something that you could have built because both of those guys. I don't think. I think the three smallest guys in this match were all the AEW guys. Trent and Will might be close.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna say Dax and Cash are they're not like they're they're not like super buff, but they're like heavier guys. They just like like they're just built meatier.
They're like shorter versions of 80s wrestlers.
Yeah,
Like they're not rolling out there showing off 6 packs. They're like country strong kind of thing.
yeah. There we go. Yeah.
Big thick boys, except short. Oh. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll be excited. I don't really know though because when the first interference happened, we haven't seen Okan and Cobb back again. Now, this
Yeah.
episode of Dynamite was not live; it was recorded. So, if you take that in mind, with Dynamite happening, and that's where Ospreay showed up and Aussie Open showed up, that was all one night that got recorded. So each of them have only been there for one night. So I don't know what to expect moving forward towards Forbidden Door. Like, are they gonna be there on Dynamite? Are they gonna be on Rampage? Or are we just gonna get video package? Who else is
Mm,
gonna show up since it's only been like one person at a time or one group at a time?
yeah. Because, yeah, we had those guys that you've mentioned, and Tanahashi basically just was like, I mean, hey.
We're gonna fight. We're gonna fight at Forbidden Door, and then all those plans changed.
Yeah.
Um,
He's like,
because I'm pretty sure
man,
they weren't even gonna have a tournament on the Japan side before that. It was just gonna be Punk versus Tanahashi. And now that Punk got hurt, it's like, no, you gotta fight Goto. And there's gonna be something over here too.
yeah. So it'll still probably be Tanahashi versus Moxley.
Yep. I don't see that not happening, especially it does help that Mox, like in his promo, he said like he went over there. He's worked in Japan. He's already been there, done that, so he has familiarity with it to be able to work with those guys a little bit better than a total stranger.
Yeah, it'll be cool. I don't know, but yeah, I am curious because I was thinking that we were going to be getting more crossovers,
So with that
more.
being
Hey, we're here.
so with that being said, when it comes to this Wednesday on Dynamite, would you rather have either one of the ones that already shown up return to carry on their story towards Forbidden Door, or would you rather have another new name show up for the first time?
I think I'd. So what I'm thinking is bring the new names. Since the show is going to be in the States, I feel like that last Dynamite or and Rampage beforehand should be packed with everybody just like, hey, we're all here now because we're here already in town for the show over the weekend.
It'd be interesting just
So I kind of
because
think that's the way we're going now because they're not building anything up really.
the the one thing that would, I don't want to say concern me, but you can't even treat it like New Japan invasion angle because if you think AEW has a ton of factions and people lined up, no. New Japan is deeper and more factions and all that stuff. So you're not going to get like certain people standing side by side with other people from New Japan unless they're in the same faction. It would make no sense.
Right.
And then you also would have to consider, and this actually should probably have been a point at some point leading up to Forbidden Door. If you remember a while back, Best Friends became part of Chaos because of an extension of Roppongi Vice. I don't know if you remember that at all.
Um, don't know much about the best friends or Rapongi Vice in general.
Okay, but yeah, when why is his, it's killing me because his name slipped in my mind, but Trent Beretta and his partner for Roppongi Vice that is completely slipping my mind right now. That's crazy and terrible. Um, well, his partners are part of Chaos, like the faction. So then once they came over here, kind of became a big deal because once he started hanging out with that group with Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy and all them, so it was like they were an extension of Chaos, which was a faction or is a faction over in New Japan. So you think, even though it's supposed to be like a New Japan kind of invading thing, you would think that some people would still work together because they're still best of friends, kind of like Bullet Club would be an example, even, but there isn't really people in AEW that would align with Bullet Club so much. Not anymore. Even though we had Hikuleu and all that. But another one is actually Andrade. Andrade started one of the factions that is in New Japan and in Mexico called LIJ. So like he has connections to some people over there too. So it's weird. Like if you try to do like a straight up invasion angle, some alliances would be awkward and tested.
I don't know, but yeah, I don't mean that they all show up exactly together, just like in different spots in those last couple shows. That they probably just need to like, hey, we got this and this, this and this, this is happening. These guys are fighting these guys.
Yeah, I thought about that aspect too. My only thought was, I'm like, you don't want like like a week of Dynamite and Rampage where like every match has a New Japan person showing up in it. So I'm
Mhm.
like I don't know what they're gonna do because there's not a whole lot of time left, and you gotta do something to get things set in stone to build excitement. 'Cause right now, it feels like they're trying to do it just based off the concept of the pay per view, and because I don't feel like I know any matches or have any excitement for it. I just know the pay per view's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, as technically no matches have been confirmed for this, I don't,
Well,
as far as I know.
yeah, because we had one made, but that had to be canceled,
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, there's no matches confirmed for this.
and
Like
that's
because the early rumors that were definitely it was going to be Tanahashi CM Punk, which was seemed all but certain until CM Punk was hurt. And I had been hearing a lot that Adam Page would fight Okada, which seems kind of likely now too. But other than that,
why this main event was odd, and kind of where the point came from is, well, the first thing was Okan and Jeff Cobb attacking FTR. So FTR kind of called out in general. Well, now FTR just fought Ospreay in a different tag team. So when it comes to the pay per view, who are they targeting? Because there's been multiple people to that they should have beef with now. So I have no clue.
yeah, yeah, like just anybody from the United Empire. They're like, hey, we'll take on any one of you. We don't care as long as it's one of you guys.
And
But then they just beat the leader.
yeah, and I was trying to think. I can't think of. It would make no sense to run it back as like a trios match again because, like you just said, they just beat them with the
Yeah,
strongest guy in the group as a part of that team. Because if they had lost that match, okay,
yeah,
maybe FTR has someone in mind that fits more their style, that's actually their friend kind of thing, and say, hey, no, we want more of you, but we want to bring in our guy. Like, at
yeah,
least that would make sense. But right now, who knows?
yeah. Right now, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I'm hoping that we get just, even though it doesn't seem likely, I'm just hoping that we're going to get a whole bunch of, as we're getting closer and closer, and there's probably going to be more of the wrestlers from Japan coming over here early, hoping that we'll get more appearances from them.
Yeah, I know like a week or so ago we were talking about At least they'll be here before the pay-per-view. So, hopefully that
Yeah.
last Dynamite and that Rampage, maybe before that we get like a video package or hints or something. But that last week, hopefully it could be a crazy week, and then we get Dynamite. If it has been made apparently clear to anyone that's actually bothered watching our video, the Dynamite after Forbidden Door, we will be there live, and also a Rampage
Yeah.
taping. Blood and guts.